Howdy folks. So I set up on a different spot in a ferry because it's a little less windy over here. Now I want to talk about, I guess, the one thing that we miss most about South Africa. Once again, you know, the other video I had recently was the main reason we left South Africa. And in this one I'm going to talk about the one thing that we miss most about South Africa. Now, I mean, there's plenty to miss. South Africa is a great country. It's got all the food that we grew up with. It's got, you know, we know how it works there, which, don't get me wrong, that's a very, very big part. Not a big part, but it's a big thing. You know, knowing how things work, how taxes work, how things, you know, what you got to do, even though part of it is that you got to be looking over your shoulder and watching your back the whole time. You know, at least knowing how things work, I think that's a very daunting thing when you start in a new country, is that you're not sure how things work and you need to find your place. But still, that's not the thing that we miss most. All of that you can deal with, and you know, people over here are very friendly and very helpful, and there's really nice people. The thing that we miss most is obviously our family and friends, and especially our parents. I mean, my dad passed away a couple of years ago, but my mom's still alive. Belinda's dad her dad and her mom is still alive, and they both, you know, moving on in years, deep into their 80s. And you know, those are the people we miss most. Family and friends. It's a little hard, you know. We were chatting to my mum the other day, and she was saying, yeah, but she never sees the kids anymore, because especially with our kids now being teenagers, we are 9 hours behind South Africa. So there's only really 2 overlapping periods a day where we can communicate with people back home. That's in the mornings when it's evening for them, and after 9 in the evening when it's 6 a.m. in South Africa. And you know, it's hard because our kids, the teenagers, they sleep till 10 or 11 or 12 o'clock at the day, and over weekends and on holidays. So oftentimes we try and phone every Sunday. We phone the family, we video call them, and we chat to moms and dads, but oftentimes the kids don't wake up in time, so they fast asleep when we speak to the grannies, and the grannies are going, hey, we never see the kids, you know, and we chase them up, and then they sit there like zombies. So that's a hard one. That's, I guess, one of the things that we struggle with the most, is trying to stay connected with our family and knowing what's going on, you know. And then you've got things like when something happens. Recently, Belinda's dad got a bit sick, and we think he might have had COVID, or he thinks he might have had COVID, and he was quite sick, you know, he was very sick, and he was lying at home, and we're sitting over here. I mean, there's nothing you can do. Yes, luckily there's some other family over there, and they live with Belinda's brother on the same piece of land, so they looked after, and Belinda's sister, they all looked after, the rest of the family looked after her dad. But you know, I could see that it ate at her. It was hard, and she called every day to check in how it's going, and it's just that feeling of helplessness. You're sitting here on the other side of the world, really, and there's not much you can do. You can phone and ask people to do stuff, but it's you know, it's just like you are not there. And I think that really is, of all the things, the hardest thing to deal with. That's the thing that that really gets to us, you know. So on family, and then also on friends. You know, we've got all our mates out there, and oftentimes it's really hard to connect with. I haven't spoken to some of my mates for months because we just keep on missing each other, you know. I guess it would have helped if I was somebody that stayed up later, so I could like hang around at 12 and at night and phone them, because then it's 9, 10 o'clock there and they can chat to me. But I don't. We normally go to bed at 10, so that's 7 a.m. in South Africa, so we don't actually get to speak to them in the evenings. And in the mornings is when we deal with work and everything, and on weekends sometimes we sleep in. So it's just really hard to connect with the people back home, you know. And it's good. I mean, we're making new friends here, and we do stuff, and we've got some other old friends that live here, and we've got some friends in the US that we can connect with, and all that is fine. But of all the things in South Africa, the thing that's from leaving South Africa, the thing that's the hardest, it has to be family and friends that we don't communicate or don't see that often. And that's the one thing that gets to us. Everything else is amazing. Anyway, thought I'd touch on that a little bit. You all must have a good one.